Welcome to But Are There Dragons, a podcast where two friends pick a book, at least one of them has it read, and talk about it. I'm your host, Kritter.
And I'm your host, Jess.
And we're here to talk about the first half, chapters 1 through 14, of Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman. Pretty excited, but before we do that, we're going to introduce our very, very special guests, who we are very excited to have on the podcast for the very first time. We have Brian the Gleeman and Innkeeper Hatch. There we go. There he is. There. I feel like we're in not Full House, but the not Addams Family, guys. What is it? Help me out. The Brady Bunch.
Hollywood.
Brady Bunch.
I was going to say Hollywood Squares, but same difference.
Brian and Matt do a podcast called Barside Chats, which is super fun. A lot of like fantasy stuff. I'll let you guys describe it if you want to. And Matt, the Innkeeper Hatch, is the innkeeper of the Dusty Wheel YouTube show, which took the world by storm during the reign of the Wheel of Time show on Prime Video. Although it is on like a minor hiatus, or a pretty big hiatus right now because the Wheel of Time is over. But I will let Matt and Brian talk about themselves to the extent that they want, and then we will jump into our first segment.
Yeah, Matt, you go first.
No, you talk about yourself first.
No, that's fine. I'll talk. So,
yeah.
Matt and I have been friends for a long time, and we've done a podcast together, worked on the Dusty Wheel together. I read a lot. I've read Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've read all the books Matt has read. Well, I guess he's read Dungeon Crawler Carl. So we're thrilled to be here. Happy to talk about whatever you want to talk about with the book. Matt?
Yeah. And I'm a casual Wheel of Time fan now. That's
yeah.
And I'm Brian. Like Brian's told everybody that watches the Dusty Wheel, I haven't read a lot of books lately, and I can't remember. It was a friend at work who was like, "Hey, have you ever read Dungeon Crawler Carl?" I cannot say that, by the way. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I have to say it really slowly. And I guess everyone at work seemed to be reading it, and so I was like, it's Christmas break. I will pick up a book and disconnect from the world. And so I think I read the first one in like a day. And then I was like, I don't have the second book. And so I now own all the books, and I own all the books on Kindle, and I own all the audiobooks. So yeah, it took me, I think, like 4 weeks to get through the first, either 7 or 8. I don't know.
7.
There's 7.
And Brian said, I think I can share this. Can I share, Brian? Can I share Teresa's question to you? Yeah. I think it went like this. Do you think Matt's going to start reading again? And Brian goes, no.
No.
Excellent.
So, yeah. It did not lead to lots more reading. So
that's
There's
fair.
still time.
But also find what you like. You don't have to necessarily branch out very much. Whatever.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah.
So speaking of not reading books, let's get into our first segment that doesn't involve the books. But are there updates? We talk about whatever we want to talk about during any given episode. Sometimes it's about current events. Sometimes it's about something else. And since when this episode airs, the Oscars will have just been finished. So we're not talking about movies. I don't know. March Madness will be going on, but this is not a sports podcast. Go to New Heights for that. What we're going to talk about today is what we've been watching on the TV. What is bingeable? But is it bingeable, as Jessica sent me the other day? So I'm going to start with Jessica, because you haven't, gotten to say much yet. Jessica, what are you binging these days?
Well, there's a couple of fun ones and a kind of way out there one. So we are absolutely madly in love with Shrinking. So we are loving Shrinking and devouring it the second it comes out. Also, The Pit. Because
you and everyone else except me, apparently.
Well, I love a good medical drama. I was on the ER train a million years ago, and the work that I do, I am slightly medical adjacent, so I find it very interesting. Mm-hmm. So those are the most recent ones. We are going to be trying the new Sherlock. Young Sherlock, because our dear Donald Finn is in it, and we'd like to give it a try. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm. Donald Finn, who played Matt Coffin in the Wheel of Time show.
Yes.
For the seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. And I'm going to be doing a little Peaky Blinders rewatch this weekend because that movie's coming out.
Nice.
And I've totally lost sight of it entirely. And then I happened to it flew into my TikTok today. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is a movie. It did happen and it's coming. So that's that. And then the one really kind of weird out there binge that we're doing that I can't get enough of. Mr. Jessica and I have been doing a lot of what's a series that one of us has watched and one of us hasn't that's kind of vintage. And our current is West Wing. And I've actually
West Wing is vintage?
For me, like
it is.
It is vintage, first off, by the definition, because of the age. And also, I missed it first time around, right? Like, I never, ever watched a single episode.
When was it coming out?
2000.
2000 is vintage.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts a little bit. Okay, so nice. Do you have a favorite of the ones you're currently watching?
I think The Pit, definitely, just because I do love a good medical drama, and I've been in love with Noah Wyle since longer than I care to disclose.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go with Brian now. What are you binging? Are you a TV guy?
Yeah, I watch a decent amount. I don't think of myself as watching a lot of TV, and then I talk to people, and they're like, they've never heard of the shows I'm watching, so I must. Even they're like, Ted Lasso. They're like, you've never heard of Ted Lasso? Anyway, so I guess I do watch a lot of TV. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm also watching The Pit. Love it. The new season is fantastic. We are watching Dark, which I had never seen before. I think I started Dark a couple years ago, got like 2 episodes in and got distracted. Not so that the show was bad, but some life was going on. So I finally picked it back up, just finished season 2, on to season 3. Super fascinated, super hooked, really need to know what's happening next. And so I'm really stoked about Dark. It's really, really good. German
sci-fi. Yeah.
So good.
So good.
And it makes me want to learn German. They sound so angry even when they're being nice. It's good.
Well, of all the languages, it's maybe one of the easier ones to learn because it's English is a Germanic language, I think. So a lot of the vocabulary, there's some overlap. Like I'm not fluent in German, but I do know some, and it was helpful for the vocabulary.
I've heard it described that English is like German interpreted by the French and then beat up by the English.
That's
like
perfect.
That.
That's perfect.
Or beat up by the Welsh or something like that. Anyway,
that works. Okay.
Probably butchered that, but that's what I'm doing. So yeah, The Pit and Dark or whatever.
Dark.
Yeah, if you don't mind subtitles, do Dark. It's like one of Netflix's best, in my opinion. Okay, Matt. Innkeeper?
I want to be able to go back and watch Dark for the first time again.
I know.
It's so good. I mean, I should just go back. Actually, it's probably just as good as the second watch.
Yet.
Oh, that was it's so good.
Gotta watch it.
Well, one of the ones that I hadn't watched that I just binged through. Actually, I'm on the last episode of what I think is the last season. No spoilers here. Peaky Blinders is maybe one of my favorite television shows ever now. Like and my son he was so, I don't know if you guys remember this. I was doing like I don't know if it was the 12-hour live stream about Land Fear or something like that. Anyways, I was getting clips of Natasha O'Keeffe from things. I can't remember what it was for. There's probably lots of reasons that I would get Natasha O'Keeffe clips. So I was getting clips and Taylor was like, where did you get these clips from? I was like, I just was watching random Peaky Blinder episodes because I heard she was in Peaky Blinders, and I was like, he's like, you are ruining Peaky Blinders? And I was like, no, I don't remember anything that's happening. And it's so funny. Like, he's like, you have to watch it. It's a great show. And I don't know. I don't know why I didn't think that. It's not that I didn't think that. I just didn't appeal to me. And I watched episode 1 of season 1, and now I'm like, I think it's only been like 2 weeks, and I'm at season 6, episode 6 at this point, and one of my favorite shows. So
I'm with Taylor though. Like my heart is horrified at the idea of the spoiler of it all, right? Like just grabbing images and seeing things.
I've never seen Blinders.
It didn't ruin anything. What did you not?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I think you should give it a try.
It's really good.
I should.
It surprisingly, it was surprising me how good it was. Like, I was like, this has been just sitting here. It's like when I watched Dark, I was like, this has just been here.
I know.
I didn't know it was here.
It's just been here the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
So yeah, I would have to say Peaky Blinders. But I did start Young Sherlock. We're already like 6 episodes in. My kids like that one, and Donald Finn is fantastic in it. I didn't know who he was playing, so that was a surprise for me, and I was like, oh, that's so good.
That's fun.
That's so good. So
whenever I was like reporting on, what the Wheel of Time actors were doing next. And when I checked IMDb, it said that he was going to play Moriarty in 1 episode. And I was like, weird. I guess maybe they'll introduce him in episode 8 as like a cliffhanger. And then obviously they started promoting the show recently and it came out. And no, he's in all 8. Like, and he's a main character. I was just like, oh wow, just 1 episode. That's a bummer. IMDb is just false. And so
it's fun. It's just a fun show. And he does fantastic. So yeah, I would say Dark, Peaky Blinders, Young Sherlock, all fun things to pick up.
Okay, well, now that everyone's given their like really cerebral, serious recommendations, let me jump in with a couple of your trash recommendations.
Bring it.
Well, I have a trash recommendation first. Which is, have you seen The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Shut up, Brian. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh my gosh!
It's about to start. No, it just released. It just came, like season 4 just came out. I haven't seen any of it yet, but you better believe that's what I'm binging immediately. Because the moment that show came out, because I'm like on TikTok, and there was this big controversy on TikTok about these Mormons, and they're all like whatever. These are the same people that were controversial on TikTok. Some of them, obviously, a lot of them would contest that they were a part of it. But the tea is piping hot. The drama's insane. 2 of them went on Dancing with the Stars. One of them is going to be The Bachelorette. Like, it's wild. It's wild times in the realm of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I guess, oh my gosh, Innkeeper. Have you ever seen any of the Mormon wives in Utah? Don't you live in Utah? I mean,
can I ask you another question in response? Why do you think I'm in Salt Lake City right now?
Shut up! What? You're looking for them? Have you gone to Swig yet?
Brian is here because we're about to binge it. That's what's about to happen. So, we're binging season 4.
You guys, all of you, I love it. Oh, I wish wow, and I didn't get the invite. No, it's fine. It's fine. Whatever, I'm not mad. I'm also just now finishing the newest Love is Blind season, which is more trash. The reunion aired last night, but I was at trivia, which I do about every week, and so I'm gonna have to catch up. I'm avoiding spoilers because I don't know if the couples that got married are still married. So I want to be excited. As far as more serious television goes, I just finished The Beast in Me, which has Claire Danes and the guy from The Americans, and that is like Mr. Kritter and I are all about the like whodunit crime, cerebral, like murdery dramas.
Yeah.
Whatever. And that one really, it really does it. It's one of those. And so it's fun. The guy from The Americans, I wish I could think of his name. I can't. He was fabulous in it. Acting was, Claire Danes is amazing. It was really fun. It was a good one. So I do watch more quality television than Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but now's a really exciting time in reality television. So check out Hulu if you want to turn your brain off. Okay.
You gotta have a little trash TV. You gotta have a little trash TV.
You could have variety in the diet,
Yeah,
right.
I live a very serious life. Not really, but I have a serious job, right? And so I need to turn that brain off. I need to turn it off every now and then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of turning our brain off, Jessica, shall we talk about the book?
Excellent segue. Kritter is the queen of segues. So, welcome, guys. We are here to talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl, Book 2, Carl's Doomsday Scenario, the first half, chapters 1 through 14. And so, very gently, because you already both each touched on a little bit, I like to ask our guests to just show your credentials at the door a little bit. So, I think we kind of know that Innkeeper Hatch, you just discovered this series pretty recently and devoured it pretty fast.
Yep.
What was your main method? Did you go audiobook? Are you a physical reader? I know you just said you own them all, but which way did you take your Dungeon Crawler Carl?
So at first it was just like the physical book, right? It was sitting on a couch and like I like that. It's like, it just felt like I needed to get away. But then at night, though, like I'm trying to read it like, it's 2 a.m. and like a big book with lights on. I couldn't do that. So I was like, I got to get it on Kindle.
In this economy, who does that?
And then like I was then I was like, well, I can't be. I was trying to like read it, but there was other things going on. So I was like, so yeah, it was like really it was like a crazy kind of mix. It just depended on where I was in the day. I tend to be the kind of person who, like, if I'm reading a book I love, I'm taking it like with me. You know, I'm like in the car. Now I'm listening to it. So we get in the car and I don't want to be like trying to read it. Now I have it in my ear. My wife's like, what are you listening to? And I was like, oh, and she's like, oh, the book. Yeah, that's right. So it's like on our way places, like listening. And then, we get back home at night. So it's at night, Kindle, on the road, listening on the audiobook. And then, of course, like during the day, like if I could, just grabbing a book and reading it.
Nice. So mixed media, strong work.
Oh yeah.
I will say I can second
to my blood like veins quickest, right?
Yes, like however I can ingest. I respect it. I can say that we also did the car ride listen along, but husband was a good sport because he was so excited I was finally reading it that he was like, just play it over the car speakers. I don't care where you are, just play it. So yeah, anytime we were in the car, we were listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl.
That's awesome.
So Brian, how long have you known of the series? How were you introduced to it?
I read it about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I just, I'm not a big fan of lit RPG as a genre, and but people had just kept saying how great it was. So I picked up the first book expecting to hate it. Loved it, obviously. Went to the second book, the third book, fourth book, all the way through. I think I read the whole, everything that was available. I went through 6 in probably 2 or 3 weeks, and then I had to wait 3 or 4 months for book 7 to come out. So, so I actually had to do the waiting, do the longing for book 7. I read on Kindle, like almost exclusively. I don't do audiobooks, although I did get a little bit of the audiobook experience at WatCon when Mr. Jessica drove me to the store, and it was on his car speaker. We just
right. I forgot about your excursion, your little adventures.
Yeah, the little excursion. And but yeah, I've been reading for a long time, and I sort of started telling everybody I knew, this is great, you should read it. I'm always a little lit RPG as a genre is very popular, but it's also it's very polarizing. You either love it or hate it, and right. I was very anxious to like recommend it to people because I thought most of us would not like it, and then to my very big surprise, everybody loves it, and I was like, maybe I just have weird taste and nobody's gonna like it, and so everybody loves it. So I'm thrilled to just be talking about it with some people. It's great.
Somebody told me that Matt Dinniman was at JordanCon like 2 or 3 years ago, and I feel like such a failure for not like getting the book and getting them signed. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
He was at Dragonstone Nexus.
He was.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He was at WatCon?
Well, he wasn't at WatCon. He was at the Columbus.
Yeah, Dragonstone Nexus.
He was at the book.
Okay.
He was at the book festival that was happening in Columbus the same
like a whole
weekend.
bunch of us went and got books signed.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
and he was at Dragonsteel Nexus.
And he was at Nexus too,
and so was Will White. Will White and Matt Dinniman were both there.
Well, the crazy thing is Brian and a couple of other friends that were there like went into the Matt Dinniman panel, and I was like, oh, this is going to cover like, I want to read these books eventually. I don't want to ruin anything. But then I was like, am I really going to like remember? And
are you really going to read a book?
They had the guy. Ouch.
Brian's not going to let it go.
No. That's what this friendship is about. He, like audiobook wise, the guy that does the audio, like whoever does the audio, he was there, and like Matt Dinniman had him like act out or like read a scene from the next book. And so I was like, this feels like it's spoilery, but I loved listening to it. I just kept on telling myself, like, actively forget, like, don't remember these names, don't remember anything, just enjoy the moment. And
Matt, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that did hit mutual discord, and I didn't listen to it at the time because I wanted to listen to it after having finished the book. So I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm going to go back and listen to that.
Oh, it's so good. I want to now go to his event. Like now it's like one of these like Wheel of Time things again. It's like I'm waiting for a book and I can't wait to. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun.
Matt kept looking at me and going, "This is really funny." Yeah. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the Desperado.
Yeah.
So I will say we touched on it when we were talking about book one, about lit RPG and how it's a different genre for both of us. We actually, kind of forensically worked out that Kritter has read lit RPG technically before because she's got Ready Player One under her belt, but I've got like really nothing to compare it to. And I was, as a first timer, I was really surprised how much I liked it. I think that a lot of the humor, my age worked in my favor because I get a lot of the humor that was made. So there's a lot of gamer references that probably go right over my head, but there's definitely a niche of humor in there that I'm clearly the demographic.
Yeah.
I think everybody's the demographic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody's
It's
the
got
demographic.
broad appeal.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's
There's
something
like a
that comes up-
Teenage
there's something-
Mutant Ninja Turtle reference right in the beginning, and
Yeah.
Okay,
just a
that's
couple
good.
things
Yeah.
that I was like, okay.
There's something I can't wait to talk about that like it just like I was like, no, he gets me. Like there was like he had the same exact experience, or he just had, or like wrote about imagining somebody having the same exact experience, and I was like, that was my experience. Anyways, so we'll talk about it.
I was like, does that happen in this half, or do I need to
It does.
DM you later?
No.
Okay.
It happens in this half. Like I was so excited when I went back and reread it because I was like, oh, that's right. I loved that moment.
Amazing.
What was
Well,
it?
if I
Oh, can I feel like
talk about it. What is
yeah, might as well roll right
like
in.
it's the stack of Louis L'Amour books. Like
Oh, yeah.
Are those
like there was
real?
this moment where he's like, and he's talking
Yes.
about the Sackett series.
You've
from
never
Louis
heard of
L'Amour,
Louis
and he
L'Amour?
got this, and they're like, what's that?
I've never heard of Louis
Dove.
L'Amour. I didn't know it was real. Oh, I've
Oh,
heard,
no.
I've
Yeah,
heard the
yeah.
phrase
So
yeah,
Lonesome
he's
Dove.
a real
Okay.
Western author.
Yeah, Louis
Writes
L'Amour.
Westerns.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
like they're just these like 150 to 200 page books, and you can just like read them. Like as a kid, I visited my grandparents when I was 14, and I was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, go to the library, because I was with them for like a week, and we went to the library, and I got like 9 books, and they're just like, that's weird. And like most of them were like Louis L'Amour books, and I just sat there and read, and the Sackett series is like that he mentions is like one of my favorites. So like that's that one, like when he got those, I was like, and because like I was like, that's a great gift to get.
That's so cool. I had no idea that was real. That makes it so much cooler.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
like, I
next
was
time
like,
you go to the
man.
bookstore, look for Louis L'Amour. There's like 300 of the books.
Okay.
He's so
Will
prolific.
do.
My grandfather had stacks of them as well,
Yeah.
and I read them all too. So
Yeah,
cool.
it was one of those references where you're just like, okay, that won me over.
Because it is fairly random, but it's so awesome that you connected with it.
The way that Jessica's like, the humor hits with me, and the way I'm like, all these gaming references hit with me, and Matt's over here like the book series that, what I feel, is this like the sisterhood of the traveling lit RPG book? Like the reason everybody
there you
loves
go.
it is because everybody's got something
Something for everybody.
Something for
Well,
everybody.
it was like the way that they described it. I thought he described it like it was wrapped up in plastic, kind of like it had been sold at like, just like kind of like you get you order from Amazon and you get a bunch of books from somebody, and they're just wrapped up in plastic. That's kind of like if you go look at Louis L'Amour books, people are selling these like groups of wrapped up in plastic. They're just like, I found these in like my dad's shelf, and there's so many of them. So 100%. Like that was just like it wasn't like a humorous moment. It was just like a connecting moment. I have a lot of those. I think during the reading, I was just like, like I feel some of the things that Carl feels. Like he just. It's just I think I had never read lit RPG and I was just like, oh, this is my jam. If they're all this good, I don't know that that's the case, but
most lit RPG books are 10 times heavier on the game elements and 10 times less on everything else.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So it's like if you really love the video game elements, you don't care that much about plot or like this heartwarming Louis L'Amour things, then
No, I like it all. I want it in the package.
you want it all.
No, I want it all. Like the reason it's obviously I love the humor. I love Carl and Donut. The fact that a cat's a main character. Like there's a lot of it that speaks to me. But like Jessica and I are different in the way that like some of the video game and like gaming references will ping with me. And I'm like, oh my god, I played against this boss. Basically, is like how sometimes what happens to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of cat, should we talk about chapter 1 where they choose their classes and
so that's where I've got us started. I was going to ask Kritter to go first because she was
segues for what it's worth.
Kritter was really excited about class selection and stuff. So great segue, Brian. Kritter,
Yes.
You kick us off. How did you feel about class and race selection and how that went?
Okay, so I knew she was going to pick Cat, so that was no surprise, and I thought it was hilarious. But they got me on the like, oh, Carl's trying to pressure her to take the street vendor or whatever, and actually they were like under the table trying to pick something up like that. Whenever they did the bait and switch, and they were like, actually, we didn't want to piss Mordecai off, but the plan all along was to get something with the manager thing. That was really good the way they played that, and I thought it was interesting. I think it's funny that she's a former child star. Like the name of them is funny, and also the Artist Alley entrepreneur.
Artist Alley, yeah.
The way they describe it, it's like selling copyright infringement materials in the back of a convention center. I was like, oh, I have seen those people in real life. Like, it's so real. So anyways, yeah, I thought Donuts was really fun. I love being tricked by an author as long as it's like obviously in like good-natured fun, and that one was, I thought. I'm just really curious now what's going to happen with the fact that he's Donuts manager. Like when are Carl and Donuts interests not going to align, because obviously like Mordecai and Carl have like some kind of like simpatico thing, like they get along, they like to plan things together or whatever, but like I assume that Mordecai has to be loyal to Donut, just as an attorney-client privilege type of thing where he's got to prioritize her. So I'm not sure it doesn't happen in this book, but I imagine it's gonna happen where it's gonna play out in a weird way.
I don't know why I didn't think about this before, Kritter. You're really you're going through it like at pace, right? Like you're kind of like, and you're having that kind of like pod, like the thing the Wheel of Time and all that kind of the groups that were doing it. Like you just analyzed something that like when I read the books, and I said this always to other podcasters that were like going slowly, like it wasn't until I read, if this makes sense, I'm reading it slower in the reread. I'm actually like the first time through, I was just like fly, don't pay attention to too much, just float across the top of the water. And so I'm like you're already analyzing something, and I was like, oh, interesting, that's true, they did say, like they said it that way, and I'm starting to kind of dig into that's what I was trying to do in my reread. I was like, what did I miss? Right? I'm asking myself, like, okay.
One of the things I love about Kritter is a lot of times she's on her second listen through by the time we get to record. Yeah. So she will have picked up more.
My first listen through is a blaze of glory. Like it's just like how fast can I listen to this? I want to see what happens. And then I read another book, and then I come back because I want to be fresh. And so then I'll read it. Usually a little faster, but because I've already read it, I can I start thinking about what's going on and what might be going on. So whatever. It was interesting to me. I remember in my predictions, I said that Carl's either going to be human or something that looks like a human, because I've seen the covers of the books. Like I was spoiled on that. And so the fact that he ended up being, what's it called? Primal was interesting. And the description of the primals I thought was cool. Like, the original species of whatever that's spread throughout the galaxy. That's neat. I'm really curious to see what ends up happening with him there.
Yeah, for sure.
I like I was a huge fan of Donut, and obviously all of that was pure entertainment value and hit the mark in terms of being hilarious, and also very impressed with how they kind of did that bait and switch with Mordecai, as far as they got that inside tip from Odette and they used it. Also, the point and counterpoint, right, of the class and race selection for Donut versus Carl. Like, Carl is the straight man, essentially, to Donut, in that he's, compensated anarchist. And I'm like, that's a serious title for a serious fella, kind of thing.
First of all, that's an awesome title. Compensated anarchist title. Primal. What?
Right.
D&D would be so much more popular if those were the classes.
You know what? Not for nothing, Brian. I was like, I would play that D&D character. I would play the hell out of that D&D character.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It was really. Again, because I don't do a lot of gaming, and even though I D&D now, I'm still pretty new to the gaming and RPG world. A lot of it was kind of flying past my head, like a lot of gamer references. I was just like, wow, this is wild. And the detail to which he fleshed it out to give you the feeling, it gave me at least the feeling of somebody spun a wheel, And there were choices on all of those pings on the wheel, and this is what they got. It didn't feel like they were playing with empty props. It felt like there really were 100 other choices that could have come up. And so, appreciated that as a partaker of the story.
Yeah,
he does a good job for sure. Like that, I think that's what caught me is just like his world. The world is so immersive, and it feels again like that's what we always talk about with Wheel of Time, right? It feels like it's there, and so that hit immediately, and I just every time I'm just like, oh my gosh, how creative. He must have so much fun just coming up with these descriptions and everything, because he can just say like almost the most absurd things, and you're just like, yeah, that totally fits, so every time I just turn a page, or like there's that moment they get something, you're like, oh, describe it, please. I have to. Don't get rid of that, right? I need that. So yeah, I love it.
He said that at Nexus at the panel. He said. People tell him to do the craziest things, and he's like, nothing's too crazy. I can make anything work, and I believe it. Like, these are so off the wall, and he made it work.
Yeah. So, Brian, I'll kick off with you. A new concept of NPC, if you will, was introduced in book 2, which is the elites. So, again, whole new world for me. What's your take on the elites and elites as a part of NPC and as a story device?
Right. Well, the elites also introduced the concept of quests to the world, and quests are kind of essential to any RPG that you have. And so, what Dinniman is doing here is kind of saying, okay, there's going to be special characters that actually have motivation and reason and personalities that are not just a lemur with a knife, right? Like they're not just violent and want to kill you. They have other motivations and other desires. And so it is, I think, in Serena Signet's, the character we're talking about, one of the elites that we're talking about, she represents a very common trope in RPGs, which is I'm going to kick off a quest and you can join me or not, except in this case, because AI is controlling the game, he doesn't really have a choice. He's got to be in the middle of it. But I think it's great. I think it's brilliant. And for somebody like you who is maybe not as immersed in RPG video game lore, it's a really great introduction to this concept that not every creature in the dungeon is going to be a mindless monster that's just going to come after you with sharp teeth and claws and something like that. Like these are going to be some really interesting fleshed out characters. And it makes it believable, like as absurd as they might be when you stop and think about it, it makes it believable because they're like real people, or they feel like real people. And Mordecai calls out like they are real people, like they're like kind of pre-programmed or biologically programmed with the memories of who they are. So they're not actors; they're just like real. Anyway, it's a really neat concept. I think it's a good introduction to the second book. For these are some more mechanics you can look out for as we keep going.
Brian was so cerebral in that, like
yeah. That's why I gave it to him, because I'm like, this one's for Brian.
Can you bring it down to the secret lives and lives level?
Let me bring it down. Let me bring this whole conversation down to like really basic connections here. My brain obviously compares everything to the Wheel of Time. Like that's just what it does. So like the elites struck me as kind of very Taviran-esque, like because when I looked at, I was like, not directly controlled by the AI and the writers. They are constantly being nudged and manipulated, and I was like, but they're constantly being nudged and manipulated. So like, there's like that kind of feel like they have more impact, but the book in the same chapter says they have kind of plot armor, so there's that kind of mix of the type of character, which means to me, they go like, oh, this character can be very impactful. They can spin, they can weave some web together of what he's planning on here. So, and the other thing that struck me, other than that, was scope is really hitting me this time. So, like, I believe they said there was thousands of elites, something like that. I thought that's what they said.
Yeah.
So then they were like talking about different shows. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, there's a show for Elite, and they didn't necessarily say 1-to-1 ratio, but it made my brain go like, how many shows? Like I didn't think about that the first time through, but I was like,
how many shows are going on, and they're
my
coming
God.
back for multiple seasons.
Well, they have
Oh,
more than 1 trillion viewers.
There's a trio. I was about to
yeah.
say.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got different tastes. You know, Revenge of the Daughter is only one.
But that's what that thing you just brought up, Kritter, that hit me too was. So I've like moderated forums for a long time, and you know, you think about like a channel, you know this well, like how many comments you get on a video, and so it was like a comment from like Zev like earlier was like, a couple people are grumbling, and like it was the first time when I went back and read it, I was like trying to like scale it up. What would a couple people be for 1,000-person channel to a couple be for 300 trillion views?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, my brain was going into like the social media manager. Like I was like looking at like, how many is a couple? Is that like 1 million people are grumbling? But that doesn't matter because
Irrelevant.
It has 300 trillion
Those
views.
are no longer real numbers at that point. Like,
oh, I know. It's its own wild concept. Like it finally like broke my brain reading through this time.
Kritter, how did you feel about the Elites? Did anything stand out about our introduction to Zarina?
Okay, yes. First of all, they said the word dragon. I don't know if you noticed, but
They
there's
did say the word dragon.
And you know, they didn't specify what kind of sea dragon, whether it's a dragon like in this book here, or if it's an actual sea dragon, which is like a kind of a fish. Either way, the word dragon is in this book, so there are dragons.
Nice.
Hence the name of the podcast.
Excellent.
End of podcast. We're done.
We found one. But no, I think my biggest takeaway so far, other than the fact that she sounded like such a badass, like they kept saying she was horrible to look upon because of all her tattoos, but the way I was picturing her was some like tall, lanky, elven creature with amazing swarming tattoos all over her, like almost like Avatar, like Na'vi Avatar-esque looks. Like, that's not horrifying. She sounds amazing. So that was my instinct as to how she looked. My just overall takeaway of the quest introduction and the introduction of the Elites is that book 2 felt very different from book 1. Book 1 was the nice introduction. Book 2 is like, we're going to take this world that you've become familiar with in the last 2 floors, and we're going to blow it up. There's going to be serials. There's going to be like bigger bosses. There's going to be different types of characters. There's going to be elites. There's going to be quests. Some of the quests are going to be wild. Like, you know, some of these things are going to evoke emotion in Carl that we haven't gotten before. We're going to get more of Carl's backstory. It went from this fun romp in a dungeon to like real lives, real drama. Like it was, I don't know. It was a completely new experience for me. Okay, so to put it into perspective, by the second half of book 1, I was like, okay, this is feeling like routine. Like they know what they're doing. It's kind of like they're used to it. It feels like they're almost completely immune from, they've got too much plot armor, right? So they're just going through the motions. Once we started this book, it didn't feel like that anymore because it was like so much different. So I really appreciate Dinniman's ability to change things up so significantly, so quickly. Because if it would have been the same thing over and over again that happened in book 1, I loved book 1, but eventually it's going to get tired. Now we're not at risk of that anymore because it was.
And since we're already in an apocalypse, it was a unique way for me, at least, to have them raise the stakes, right? Like, so, love the world building piece of it, but it also changed the lens for me again as somebody who is admittedly kind of a more passive reader. A reminder that there's a whole world. Universe outside of this, and it interacts with this, and so in-game versus out-of-game interactions and the implications of that definitely was a stake raiser in book 2, which was a great way to change it up from book 1, to your point.
Yeah, there's also a moment where Carl thinks about like there's 18 floors and it's already this crazy. How did it get bigger than this? And that's a fun moment where he just kind of like thinks about the future and makes you think about the future and go, oh no.
Anytime he does that yardstick thing where he's like, this bad guy, this baddie comes, you know, that you see it routinely on floor 7 or whatever it is. And he's like, how are we going to power scale to that? What does that even mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the ones where you started seeing, well, and maybe I can't remember the book one. Maybe we saw a lot of this, but this reminded me at least, which is like all of a sudden they're getting these things and they're getting like different like skills that they can't choose, and it's some random skill, and you're like, how's that skill going to be used? And it's like there's like compounding things. You're like, oh, okay, interesting. Like the mind behind kind of tracking all this stuff and how it applies to that's where it really sells me. It's just like it never felt like it has that kind of like, they're dungeon crawling, right? They're going through. But I'm always curious, like, how is this going to come to play? You know, that whole like gun on the mantle kind of thing. You know, like
well, it always feels like you've got to be talking about, like, for example, they got 2 random hobbies in their human box or whatever, and like I did not look them up because in my brain, you could.
Okay, but do you have a guess? Like, this is the time to make your guess if you'd like to.
Oh, okay. One of them was called something that I was like, okay.
The one that Donut got is called Scudola Philly.
Okay, no. I had a guess for Carl's. What was Carl's?
Chistera.
Sesta Punta. Okay, so I was like, is this like Latin? Because Sesta to me sounds like siesta. So I was like, is that has something to do with sleeping? And Punta is like a point, or I don't know. So, like, can he sleep on demand? That's not really a hobby. I don't know. It's like dumb, but that was my best guess. I have no guess for donuts. Like, absolutely none.
We shouldn't theorize with the Innkeeper here because we are not as good at it.
Wow. So you're saying my theorizing sucks?
I said we. I said the royal we. I think that's a heck of a guess. Do you want to take a shot at what you think donuts might end up being?
What is it again?
Scutula Philly.
I wish I could see how it's spelled, but I did the audiobooks.
I can get it for you.
It's fine.
It's SCUTELLIPHILY. Scutula Philly. Oh wow, that's a good well pronounced there.
Okay.
There might be reasons. Like, I might have fallen down that rabbit hole on my first read.
Okay, just based on how it sounds, I'm gonna say skipping.
Okay.
Rhythmic skipping.
Okay.
Rhythmic skipping. Fabulous.
Don't quote me. Actually, please do. Once it gets revealed, I want to know how wrong I am.
We're gonna need a meme, a GIF of some kind of rhythmic
donut skipping.
Yes. Insert meme here. That's awesome. I forgot about the skill boxes, and now I'm glad we have that on record. So while we were wrapping up thoughts on the Vengeance of the Daughter storyline, one of the things that I had written down is, once again, we see Carl kind of fighting a war on a couple of fronts at the same time. And again, doing it well, by my reckoning, like really kind of kicking butt. He is doing the grind where he is fighting on the dungeon level, but then he's also got this esoteric kind of outside game happening with Zev against the viewers at large. And what does that look like? So again, I always find one of the things that I like about Carl already at this point in the series is that he always has a solution. Like, he comes up, he problem solves, and it's never quite what they think it's going to be. And that's always fun for me. So I guess my question is, for the three of you, which type of grind do you like more from Carl? Do you like it more when you are reading those machination plot conversations, or when he's doing his dungeon crawler grind fights? We can go to Matt first.
That's tough. I'm trying to stay present in where we're at.
Where we are right now.
So I think that opened it up for me at this point in the series. I think that's where I was, which was like, oh, like, it's not just the the grinding, right? Like that's like there's some fun to that, but to me it's like, how does this all, I mean, it's the theory side, right? It's like, okay, what's the machination? What is Carl thinking behind? What is he planning? What's not being revealed to us right now? What am I hearing? So when Carl is kind of in that thought, mode of these moments of like how he's going to handle this, that's where I'm kind of digging in from. That's where I'm slowing down a little bit, because I'm trying to kind of like, I want to preemptively maybe try to guess where the thing's going to go. And so, yeah, that's definitely one of the fun parts, is just, to me, how Carl and Donut, kind of figure these things out. But definitely it's kind of like Carl's machinations is where I like to sit. They're certainly fun, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm. Brian, do you have a preference one way or the other?
I mostly agree with Matt. The introduction of kind of the Zeb dynamic really opens up the possibilities. Like if all of the possibilities in the story are really just like, what skills does Carl have, what attributes did he gain, what did he get from his loot boxes, how is he going to fight a bear on roller skates, like that's an interesting story. But then when you add, you mean he's talking to the people who pull the strings behind the scenes? Like that is a layer of depth and complexity that, again, makes it feel really immersive and real. He's not just in the video game; he's also playing the video game, right? Like he's creating the video game. He's he's holding the controller and he's running through the labyrinth at the same time. Like that's kind of what we get here. He kind of, Dinniman kind of made the world feel bigger without actually going anywhere else. And there's a really neat mechanic.
And it's really different skill sets. Like, so that's, he's not just a grunt. And there are jokes to be made from book one about his intelligence. He's not a slouch. But those are very different fronts that he's fighting on, and very different skill sets that he's using.
It's not just what's on his character sheet.
Right? 100%.
Like he's bringing real world experience and thoughts to the table, and creativity that goes beyond. Like the best D&D games are people who like role play beyond what's on their character sheet, right? And they make something
that's where the fun
unexpected
is.
and interesting. Yeah.
Kritter, how do you feel about it? Do you have a preference?
I think my favorite thing is when Carl's like heart emerges in the context of what he's doing. So, for example, whenever he was leaving Donut behind because he had to, and he told Mongo, like, I need you to protect Donut. This is the most important thing you ever have to do. Literally, like, I'm over here like, so there's like that. There's the moment when like the fight with Heather the bear, where he went to use the scratcher ticket. And I was like, what are you doing, Carl? Like, you could heal this bear right now. That's not worth the risk. And then he did heal the bear. And I'm over here like, was that you? Like, knowing that you were going to be releasing this all of it's just like, I feel like he puts his heart into a lot of things. And part of the reason that he came up with the ultimate solution between the elites, right, who were in love, was that he like understood not only the nature of television shows, but like he picked up on the fact that they were in love and came up with a way for them to reunite instead of trying to just suicide bomb the circus tent. I think one of his biggest strengths is his empathy, but I will say that at times, like, I'm sure you've heard people, especially in series and book series and stuff that involve incredibly competent women, you get the like Mary Sue argument where it's like, is this person too good? And sometimes I think Carl is perfect. I'm not mad. I love reading about how perfect he is. Sure. But the Mary Sue complainers, like, if they do that kind of a thing, they should complain about Carl, because I haven't found a flaw, really, other than maybe his relationship with his ex-girlfriend. But other than that, like, he's been pretty hyper competent this entire time. And trust me, I love to see him flex his like Sherlock Holmes muscles. And on my second reread, I actually caught like his plan a little earlier. For example, whenever they were storming the tent, he talked about wanting to stay next to the elite because of her plot armor. And I was like, oh, okay, so he understands what's happening here.
So it's like metagaming, but I'm not even mad about it.
Yeah, no.
Because
really,
it's the apocalypse, man. Just survive.
So no, I really appreciate his problem solving skills and Sherlock Holmesing it all, but his best thing is his empathy for sure.
See, I read another lit RPG that kind of wants to be Dungeon Crawler Carl, and the main character is like, I've never played a video game in my life, and then as he's like going through the world, he's doing video game things, and I'm like,
Oh.
But you said you don't, So I appreciate that Carl is like, oh, I've seen this on TV, or I played this game before.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand next to the elite because she has plot armor, and I know what plot armor. And I appreciate that, even though that is a little bit, Mary Sue, Margie Steele, but it's also it makes sense because he's not pretending that he doesn't know things.
True.
And so, I like that.
This is somewhat related. Like this just going back and reading this reminded me, like I got into Dungeons and Dragons on the advanced Dungeons and Dragons Commodore 64 side of things, which is like a game called Pool of Radiance. I never did never played with my friends growing up, just the manual thing, right? It was always in a computer gaming sense that I got into this, and I remember like having these moments where it's like, okay, I know if I take a right and go through that door, there's gonna be bad people, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go over here, fight this, get these attributes and then I'm gonna open that door and I'm gonna meet something that I don't know, and I don't know if I can beat it, right? And it's like, well, this is my strategy. And so I just love the feel of that, where he does, like, to your point, Kritter, like it does seem like somehow he's like able to manage this, but it's interesting. He's able to kind of like give you that game feel, right? Because there's a lot of that present thinking about the thing that's happening while you're guiding your party through the thing that's happening, and you're strategizing while you do that. So I think I get lost in that, and I forget that, like, well, he did that really well, because I'm just like, I'm so like embedded in the feeling of, oh my gosh, like we're in the dungeon, but he is, like, to Brian's point, like he's in the game, but he's playing the game at the same time. And so he does such a good job of putting me there that I do sometimes like forget that, of like, hey, wait a second, you should have more flaws, sir.
That was pretty smart. You make mistakes.
Yeah, right. Like, mistake more. Yeah. But it's so fun to like, see how it goes, right? He definitely has the Tamirin thing.
So. He definitely does.
I mean, he's so perfect that he's got such well-turned calves.
Yes.
They won't let him wear.
They won't let him have pants.
Yep, it's true.
So true.
Come on, Dinniman.
Everything is 2 degrees from Wheel of Time at most.
Yes, at most.
The other thing about this is, I don't think we saw it in book 1, but you guys can call me on it if I'm wrong, is they start working on their playbook, which I just found to be brilliant. So it's another thing. So we're sitting here having this conversation about how he's playing the game, but then at a higher level, he's running the game or trying to at least influence it. And I'm over here, I feel like he's playing 3D chess, and I'm over here playing checkers. Because those are solutions that aren't even occurring to me. So I am wowed by the choices he's making. And just under that decision-making tier is the implementation of a playbook, which is such simple brilliance. But I was just like, of course, why wouldn't you? Because you're all going to have different skills, and being able to just call it out. Anybody on the group know of another book or game context in which somebody has used that device? Because I just thought it was kind of brilliant.
There are a couple of video games that have that sort of mechanic, where you can kind of create these like combinations of like almost like a workflow of character actions, and then you choose them during combat so that people do things. But I think he actually probably got inspiration from MMORPGs like World of Warcraft or Guild Wars, where you actually do have like 6-8 people. The whole Leroy Jenkins thing was they were supposed to have a plan, and this dude just charged in. That's very much a strategy that's used by guilds in things like World of Warcraft when they go on raids and things like that. They say, okay, let's play this by ear. You do this, you do that, and then if something happens, I'll yell out this, and then everybody changes.
I was going to say, like, in
but
League
I think
of
that's where he
Legends.
got that inspiration from. But I've never seen it in a book.
Yeah. I can't think of it in a book either. I was going to say in League of Legends, there's like, there's like 5 characters on a team, and
League
some
of
people
Legends does that too,
lane together, and then it's okay. You throw down a trap, then I'll throw down my AOE effect, and then somebody else will stun, so he can't get out of the trap, and then somebody else will do another AOE effect, and then you'll throw your ult to do the damage, and so things like if you keep up with the game, which I don't anymore, you can just like literally kill somebody in 2 seconds because you're all hitting buttons at the exact right time, which is a lot like how this is.
Because I can tell you from like the little itty bitty RPG experience I have, I don't have the patience for that. Kritter and I have been in sessions together where it's like, we haven't done anything and we've been talking for a really long time. No. Somebody's going to shoot something.
Like, guys, I'm going to start a timer. In a minute, we're going to start fighting. Like, I cannot handle the prep.
Imagine how much better those kids in the Wheel of Time would have done if they had like instant ability to
You're
write.
Gonna start bringing up they should have had a conversation.
No, I'm just saying. Imagine like they had like an AI that's communicating, and then they're able to like instant communicate. Behind the scenes while they're.
If they had playbooks, they would have been better with the girls.
Even if they just had chat, right? Like all they needed was Discord.
No, but so what's so interesting is
I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm making this too real, but like when I think about Carl and this, like it's like constant, like they're living the game 24/7, but like we're not getting every moment, right? They're like, we're in this room for X amount of time, and we're getting when they leave or something significant happens in that room. So like I just think of like survival mode Carl in this moment, and he has like 24 hours in a day, but they aren't necessarily all 24 hours constantly grinding. And so he definitely has like really good kind of like, you can tell it's like, I just have to survive this, and so I'm going to be thinking about like, what can I do to actually get through this moment? So I think that kind of like, oh my gosh, this is their 24/7 all the time that carries me beyond that kind of feeling of like, how can they get through one of these moments versus there's a lot of planning and foresight and thinking about how to get through these moments. Like you might have with 8 people that you're in chat with planning a raid, in World of Warcraft, something like that.
Yeah. I wanted to throw back to Carl putting Mongo over to protect Donut, and just what a sweetheart moment that was. Yeah. No notes, just it was the heart wrencher for that first part of the book. I'm looking forward to the rest of the book, but I also devoured these really fast, and I forgot about that until I got to it in my reread, and I was like, oh, precious, cut it.
And the fact that the Roombas of the level almost killed her. What?
I just love that she said, like, when she was jumping up to kill the lemur, how do you say it? Lemur?
Lemur?
Lemur, there we go. Like, she's like, I was showing him how to do it. She's like, I love the donuts. Just like Mongo's like, I gotta be
child.
I gotta be an example here of showing.
You gotta show him how to pounce. You gotta show him how to hunt. Oh, yeah. It's just
every time they talk about like Mongo, like my brain kind of goes like just like digging through people's bodies. I'm always like it's like there's see like blood and guts all over the place in my head. So.
There's like a heartwarming moment there too, where, or maybe not heartwarming, but heart tugging, where, Carl is like yelling at Donut, saying like, why would you do that? Why would you risk your life? And he's like, I'm going to protect my child, Carl. And he's like, and she's like, you're not a Carl. It's not a child. It's a pet. We don't risk our lives for pets. And Carl immediately is like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Did I just say that?
Donut's not just a pet anymore. And like, so there's like a evolution of their relationship happens like in that moment where he realized he stopped seeing her as a pet and as like a whole person.
But she didn't like hearing that for sure. But then later he kind of like put a bandage on by calling her partner. But in the moment she was definitely kind of offended by that for sure.
So we have to go through our hit parade. Kritter, do you have any fave moments that we didn't touch on so far in the first half of this book?
Oh man, I feel like we've like glanced on most things. So I don't know. It was interesting to me how we got that little like aside where Carl has a flashback from when he was a kid in the circus. We got more into Carl's personal life. It definitely raised some questions for me, like why did his mom run away for 2 weeks? Like what's going on there? I don't know. I would definitely want to know more. It definitely left me wanting to know more. I thought the fights were really fun. I know we're going to talk about I'm going to talk about my favorite fight later. Okay.
Well, we can transition right into that because that was going to be my next question.
Perfect.
Let's talk about what our favorite baddies what our favorite baddie is for this part of this book. We just started doing this. Our last guest brought it up, and it was a lot of fun. So this is one of the ones where I'm going to put you fellas on the hot seat to pick. What was your favorite mob or baddie that we saw in this half of the book? We'll make Kritter go first.
Oh, okay. You said you're going to put them on the hot seat, and then you pivoted.
I wanted to give them a Mississippi to think about it.
Okay, no, I think for me it was like without hesitation, Heather the Bear. Just because once again, I loved Carl's solution. The fact that he like freed her was amazing, and the fact that was part of the way that he convinced them to ultimately come to a resolution for the whole plot, for the whole quest. It was horrifying to think about the worm arms, the like, Carl, we love you, all of that stuff. And just a bear, like a demonic bear on freaking, what are they?
Roller skates.
It's just an image. It is quite the image. But yeah, the fact that he like risked it all to heal her, and then, she was just like, end it. Obviously, it was really dark and tragic, but because of that, like in Carl's Doomsday Scenario, the fact that there was a dark and tragic moment, once again, I mean, he did it in book 1. It just ended up being my favorite.
Okay, great. Brian, do you have a favorite baddie from this part of this book?
Heather the Bear. That's what
Heather?
I came prepared to talk about. A grizzly bear or black bear. Black bear on roller skates, in a tutu, and worms coming out of his hands, and like the skull. I think no fur, no skin on the skull. It's just like
she's got like a hat that's like stuck to the bone.
Like the description was hilarious and terrifying
and horrific.
I also like the little factoid right when the battle starts, which is Mordecai goes, the black bear is the smallest of all the bears. And she's like a 10-foot tall black bear. Like, that was a really funny moment. So I really enjoyed that fight.
Yeah. Excellent choice. Matt, do you have a favorite baddie?
I mean, for goodness sakes, Heather the Bear has to be like the favorite for like. Well, if this makes sense, I feel like that's where Dinniman just has that's like his fun, like that. I feel like that's where he has fun. Like I remember, I don't think this is a spoiler. I'm going to say it's not a spoiler, which is I think the books have these baddies in them, which is why we're doing this segment. And I remember being in like the Dragonstone Nexus panel, and like the person that read the audiobooks was describing a baddie, and I was just like, my brain was just like, I had never read anything by this dude. And I was just like, what is happening? I was like, what are you describing? This is insane. And so Heather the Bear to me is like, Heather the Bear is that moment for my brain. Like just him having fun describing the wildest, baddies that can exist. And it like it kind of catches you sometimes. You're like, you almost like want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. 'Cause you're like, the parasitic worms.
The ice cream cone.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
I was going to say the ice cream cone. But yeah,
it's the baddie that almost took me out because that's when I just put the book down.
So yeah, I mean, of course, Heather the Bear.
Heather the Bear is awesome.
Yeah, it's the fun of just reading like what Dinniman's coming up with next is insane. So
it's wild.
It keeps me going through these books.
Yeah.
What's yours, Jess?
Totally. Honestly, so mine's a little bit of a cop out. I like Tsarina Signet as my favorite.
I was hoping
baddie.
somebody would pick her because she's fun. Yeah.
She is hot. She's impressive. She's evil.
But is she
evil?
Yeah.
What is she?
Yeah.
She's complicated.
Yeah, she's a
the Lanfear of
right. Her Facebook status is permanently complicated. Whoa. There will be no Lanfear slander.
Should I take it back?
I'm not saying it's slander. No spoilers here.
Yeah, okay, no spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Serena Signet, at least for this part of the read, definitely technically fits the mold of baddie for me for this part. We'll see what it looks like for the second half.
I will say there's probably a lot of people that read this that really hated the clowns. Because there's a lot of people that don't like clowns. And the description of them was just I don't know. So, I mean, shout out to him for doing a demonic circus.
When we were going into a circus theme, I mentally girded my loins. I was like, okay, this is gonna be rough just based on book one. I know this is gonna be hard.
Fun concept though that he was holding his ticket like a shield.
Right.
I'm immune.
Yeah, and Dinniman just.
What was actually great about it for me was I think clowns are creepy, and so a creepy circus, a creepy carnival, actually really works for me. I was like, okay, I'm prepared. Let's do this. If it was a happy circus and there was a creepy clown there, I'd lose my mind.
What is this is gonna be terrible because people will be like, Matt doesn't know that. I just read a book. It was last year. I read this book about a creepy circus, but it's an old school book. It's one of the classics, and I can't remember the name of it. It's where this went something. Oh shoot! Now I know. I need.
There was a Goosebumps that I read that was
something dark this way comes. I don't know what is that.
Something wicked this way comes.
Something wicked this way comes.
Oh, is that it? Oh,
I believe if I remember correctly,
it's on your wife's bookshelf right there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Brian cheated, and I respect it.
That's what reminded me of that because that has a creepy circus thing to it. I was as I read that, I'd read that last year, and when I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if he, again, not that he was inspired by that or whatever, but it was just the connection point. I was like, okay, I don't need any more creepy circuses. Read something about it.
We're done.
Okay, so we did our baddies proud. We checked for favorite moments. I have to mention that my favorite moment, Mordecai getting pulled into the safe room immediately, completely off, drunk, at this pants down, saying something like grandma or mommy or whatever, whatever that was and then doesn't remember it or whatever. They're that was just one of those moments. I was like, classic.
And the bartender or whatever is there's no weapons allowed in here or something.
Sheathe your weapons,
put
sir.
Your sword away, sir. I actually think the Mordecai moment was really illuminating because he suspects nothing. He doesn't suspect that they trapped him into being the manager, but he's devastated. This was not his plan. He was not. He did not want to be. He had things to do. And they hijacked his whole. Now he's stuck with them this whole time, and he keeps dropping hints about what else is going on in the dungeon. This is to the earlier point about there's thousands of shows. There's a lot more going on in the dungeon than any of the crawlers even know about. There's stuff. There's another guide town somewhere that the crawlers don't get to see. And there's and he's whining because he can't go meet so and so at this other. It's. I thought that was a really nice world building and character building moment. That's just Mordecai's a lot more than just the NPC that shows up and goes, "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." That's he's much more than that. And I like that piece.
Absolutely. So with that, we do at the end. We do for each episode. We pick a runner-up and an MVP for this part of the book that we've read. Because we went to 2 episodes per book, we couldn't just pick an MVP. We needed to have a runner-up too. So, as far as I know, Kritter gave you advanced warning. So, I'm going to make you go first this time, Brian. Can you tell us, for the first half of book 2, who is your runner-up for favorite character in this part of this book?
Favorite for this part of this book.
Yes.
Runner up. I think it has to be. I think it's a tie between Zev and Mordecai. I'm not really sure. Zev, I love Zev, so I'm gonna go with Zev. Zev kind of showing up and and helping Carl out in this like moment was really fun and new and interesting, and opens up a lot of possibilities. And then also the little tidbit they can sign on behalf of Carl.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny, the little pearls they drop in there.
Little things that come out there. I generally don't remember if that matters in the future, but like I was reading it and I'm like, Zev gets to sign on behalf of Carl. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So, but yeah, so I would say Zev. Zev is my runner-up.
Cool. Matt, do you have a runner-up?
Yeah, it's got to be Mordecai.
Okay.
Again, like I think there's that moment where Mordecai's like, well, now that I'm the manager, I can do some of these things that I couldn't do before, right? And all of a sudden, kind of like there's this moment where you're like, what does that mean? And why would that is said this thing? You know? And so like all of a sudden it's like, okay, like what are we gonna get from Mordecai? And like I love that we start to kind of see how this is going to, you know, kind of like how important this could be, you know, to, like all of a sudden he can say things that he couldn't say before. So yeah, I think I was excited again, like to Brian's point, just like the transition for him, for Mordecai himself, into like, oh great, this was not my plan. Yeah, I really liked it, kind of added some layers and dimension to the character. So yeah, Mordecai's my runner-up.
Awesome. Kritter, who did you pick for runner-up this time?
I went back and forth between Mordecai, who I feel like added a ton of value, and Mongo, because I just loved Mongo. And I usually, if you've watched this or listened to this podcast, you know that I just go with the person that I loved the most in any given segment. And, you know, Mongo obviously added a lot of value. He saved Donut's life. And he just had this, like, not that we need comedic relief, but he has this cute little, you know, because Donut's not like a cute fluffy pet anymore necessarily. You know, his like yips of glee whenever his triplicates show up, and the fact that they gave him his triplicates dynamite to run out and blow things up, and he was kind of upset by that, but it was still okay. Like, I don't know, Mongo's reactions to things are just so delightful for me, even if they don't happen all that often. And the fact that like he got those caps on his teeth and he was scared at first by the lightning, and then once he got used to it, he was like really excited about it. It's just the way he describes Mongo is just so endearing that I couldn't help but love him. He's my runner-up.
Okay. Solid choice. Mordecai is my runner-up because of all the things that Matt said, totally valid, and also all of the wild stuff with Grimaldi and the poisoning and how to beat the vine thing. Those are things that Carl, I don't feel like he had any way of knowing if they didn't have Mordecai. So the idea of them making it out of that quest alive, of Carl making it out of that quest alive, and then by extension, we would lose Donut as well. I feel like Mordecai was really crucial for this half of the book. So I'm going with Mordecai as my runner-up.
I agree.
I mean, as I said, he added a ton of value.
He absolutely did. So then we'll go back to you, Brian. So with Zev as your runner-up, who would you like to pick as your MVP?
Don't steal mine.
Mongo.
What?
Mongo.
Yeah.
Mongo would have Donut would have died without Mongo. The Roombas would have gotten Donut, and Donut would have died without Mongo. Little baby Mongo, like, fought off the Roombas ferociously.
Little baby Mongo, who is now like 6 feet tall or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's not at this point. He's still
not at the time,
and he levels up and becomes master.
I think he's turkey sized. He was turkey sized during the Roomba fight. Around that size. He was slightly bigger than Donut, I think.
Size after that, like, so.
Yeah.
He, because he struggles to, like, you know, curl up on the thing and have to lay on his side like a dog. So, but Mongo for sure. Like Donut would have died without Mongo. It has to be Mongo.
Absolutely. Matthew.
Ignore Brian. It has to be Mongo. So Brian stole my answer, of course. No, Mongo, like, it's that whole, I think, anything you put into a story like this where it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like little baby is growing, and like I'm a parent of 3, and there's nothing like better than like seeing kind of like growth and intelligence and all these things, like, and they just do something and you're just not expecting, and they're taking on something, their own personality is coming to, like I think of Mongo that way in this moment of just like the growth and the excitement and learning to kind of like listen or not listen, when Mongo's going to listen or not. And
he's such a little toddler.
Oh yeah. It has that kind of toddler feel. And like, I can't help but like root for him. And he's always a star. Like every time he steals the scenes, right? Mongo's awesome in this moment.
I can't believe you stole my answer.
Yeah.
I don't know how Mom Talk's going to survive this.
Kritter?
Yeah, I mean, it's Carl. I've been in love with Carl from day one. He's perfect. Like, honestly, I can tell he's my type. He's just perfect. It's no notes. He's got it all. He's got empathy. He's got the brawn. He's got the brains. He's the MVP. That's all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this time I didn't know until we got here what my choice was going to be.
Oh.
However, I did know it was going to be Mongo. So
really, I thought I was being unique picking Mongo for this.
No, I just like Donut doesn't live, right? Like Donut doesn't live without Mongo, and I think that was hugely important to this first half of the book. Not to undercut what Carl did. Carl had Mordecai. Mongo, that's like a real trial by fire moment. I'm super proud of him. So, yeah, that's cool.
I love that for us.
Yeah.
Mongo takes a huge lead for book MVP coming out of this episode.
It's the very, very best.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are done for tonight, and I want to say thank you to both of our guests. We appreciate you being here, and we want to say thank you to our listeners for tuning in to our 3rd episode of season 7 of But Are There Dragons, brought to you by your hosts Jessica Sadai and Kritter XD, with our special guests Brian the Gleeman and Matt the Innkeeper. Please don't forget to follow us at But Are There Dragons on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and But Dragons Pod, just 1 T, on X. You can also find us on social media as Kritter XD and Shelf Indulgence. That's it for today. New achievement. You have the attention span of something more than a golden retriever next to a squirrel. 1.5 books in. Wow. Reward. You get to finish this book for our March 31st episode. So we hope to see you there. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Read a little bit more.